If you haven't noticed, Detroit Lions have issues running the ball the last few seasons. And, apparently, Bob Quinn is starting to see the bigger picture. He's starting to take note. He's starting to understand that his issue was more than the offensive line. It was the scheme. It was the running backs. And he chose to go with Amir Abdullah, and that was his mistake. And everybody knew it was a mistake. And, everybody that wasn't a fanboy knew Amir Abdullah wasn't an every down back, at least in this Detroit Lions scheme. But we back. It's Motor City Sports Talk. I'm going to link this article to the description. Also, I'm going to give you the link to the podcast. I'm going to have it jumping real soon. And also the link to my other channel, the Boxing Clinic and More. It's more than boxing. Me and my homie John G is really cooking up some scouting stuff. We're going to come with a podcast as well. We're going to come with some visuals. And we're going to break down the draft. He happens to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Of course, I give him flack, but he's a very knowledgeable football coach and very knowledgeable, a very great podcast. So we're going to connect right there. But, yeah, man, there's some good stuff right here. Bob Quinn is admitting that he did make a mistake with Amir Abdullah. He also said in his article, I'm just going to pick bits and pieces out of it, that he believed that, it's only a handful of every down backs in the league now, that he's not looking for a back, quote unquote, every down back, because, they kind of like prehistoric dinosaurs, or dinosaurs, they kind of extinct right now, excuse me. You have every down back in Bell, Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley, you have those guys, but you look at guys like Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, DeMarco Murray, who's a free agent. You look at the tandems in the NFL, and it's kind of backfield by committee. And the Lions they tried that. But you got to, one thing about a backfield by committee, to get off topic for a minute, you have to have a guy that can run between the tackles and get those tough yards. New Orleans just happened to have two guys that can run between the tackles, and Kamara and Ingram. But Kamara is more of a guy that can bounce it on the outside and really take it to the house. He's more explosive than Ingram, but Ingram is getting the dirty work and grinding, and he'll bust out for a big one as well. And that's kind of what I hope the Lions kind of do. And I'm down for not bringing none of the running backs back. I've been very vocal, other than Tion Green, possibly bringing him back. Washington, Zenner, Reddick, Amir Abdullah, they all can go. And a lot of people say, what's your issue with Theo Reddick? It's the fact that he has no breakaway speed. He's quick, but he can't break away. He's not going to get you those explosive plays. And Amir Abdullah as well, he's a 4'6" guy. He's not going to get you those explosive plays. No way you can be 5'7", 5'8", 180, 200 pounds and not being able to get breakaway plays. It ain't going to work. But one of the things about it is the fact that they said Matt Patricia, according to Bob Quinn, is going to be part of the rebuild in the offensive, in the run game. A lot of people didn't know this, but Matt Patricia got his start, or he used to be an offensive line coach. So I kind of mentioned that. One of the videos I did about Patricia is the fact that when you're a defensive coordinator, don't mean you just know defense. A lot of these coaches play offensive line. They do offensive line, offense, and defense. And to be a defensive coordinator, you got to be able to understand, how offenses work to how to stop them. So Patricia is going to be an integral part in getting that run game together. They're not going to get a run game coordinator. I don't really care if they did or didn't. It don't faze me. But in those deep analytical stats, said the Lions was one of the worst at run blocking, and I explained that again. A lot of people say the holes weren't there, and it was holes there. I've seen people break down film and, look at the running backs, clearly missing holes and bouncing into the outside too early in Reddick and in Amir Abdullah's case. But think about an offensive line. It's not like a baseball team or, because of the baseball team, you can throw a whole bunch of guys together. That's the analogy I'm going to use. You can throw a whole bunch of guys out there. You can go from winning, 30 games to 80, 90 games like that. But just throwing a whole bunch of guys out there, and they can hit, catch, field. You don't have to have that camaraderie. On the offensive line, you got to have camaraderie. You guys have to move as one, and as a unit. You have to understand the next guy next to you. You got to understand integral parts. You got to have a center calling the plays. It's a brotherhood, and also they couldn't get that brotherhood to gel together because Taylor Decker was out a lot of the year, and also Robinson was messing the lineup. Wagner was hurt. Lang was hurt. I say give it another year, possibly get a guard if you let Swanson go and let Graham Glasgow kick the center and bring a left guard in. That's the improvement I think they should make, and just keep this core together one more year and put a new running back in place. But they said they got a personnel problem, and Quinn said he's not just looking at every down back. He's looking at a guy that they can hand the ball off to. He can get those yards in between the tackles, basically. And I haven't really started my homework on the draft, but there's some guys out here like the guy from San Diego State. A lot of you guys like him, Saquon Barkley. And I think the running back position is the most important position of need in the offense in the Detroit Lions period, because a running game will make Stafford's job less hard. You know what I'm saying? With Stafford, if he's able to see an 8-9 man box, you got a running back that can get those tough yards, pick up, 4th and short, 3rd and short. It makes the red zone a lot more easier to be able to have a guy that can run, and get those hard yards in the red zone and get on the goal line. It makes, 8-man boxes, 9-man boxes. It make play action that much effective. And also, not only does the run game help the offense, help Golden Tate get more one-on-ones in the slot, help Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay, T.J. Jones, who I love on the outside, do their thing. A running game will help the defense. It'll keep the defense more fresher. It'll wear out the other defense. It'll help make those possessions, longer, and it'll help the Lions pick up third downs and keep the chains moving, which they haven't been able to do. It's either explosive plays or 3-and-outs a lot of times. And I think it's very important. They mentioned that DeMarco Murray was a free agent for the right price. I would think about it. I think he would be my Latavius Murray for what the Vikings did last year. And the Vikings brought Latavius Murray in, but they drafted Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was doing his thing, so he got injured versus the Lions. We remember that game, first game we played Minnesota up in Minnesota. But then Latavius Murray, a veteran running back that had experience, came in. He was able to pick up the offense when Dalvin Cook went down. So you want a security blanket. If they choose to get DeMarco Murray, he's a guy that that has experience. He's not going to come in top dollar. And you bring in a young rookie like the guy at San Diego State, if that's what a lot of you guys like. You bring a guy like that in, you keep a guy like Tion Green, and possibly keep a guy like Theo Riddick, who can be your dynamic running back out the backfield, and he can play the slot. I think about keeping Theo Riddick because he can fill more than one position. He can play the slot. He can come out the backfield. He can do a lot of different things. So I kind of would, consider keeping him in this scenario. But, with Matt Patricia helping him out and a lot of new fresh blood in here, I don't think it should be an issue with the Lions in the running game. I think Bob Quinn is really going to look to address that need. I think he knows it's a need now. It's one of the most vital needs Lions need. And now that he's admitting that they have a problem with running the ball, I kind of feel a little bit more secure about Jim Bob Cooter. Now he's going to get support with running the ball. But, let me know how y'all feel. We gone.